Sunday, March 18th, 1900. I went to the lounge of the Hotel Belclair to get a little bit of peace. I know Sam means well, but these social events are incredibly exhausting. I can almost hear him. Can't you see how many came just for you? So many stories tied up in one moment. In the future, one of them might get entangled with yours. That's the famous Mark Twain. He convinced a few useless rich people to consider investing in my next project, and still managed to see something poetic about it. And this wasn't the first time Samuel Clemens helped me. I was barely on the cusp of adulthood, and my father, despite my protests, insisted that I become a parish priest like him. But God had other plans. I found myself on my deathbed. My doctor gave me months to live, and all hope escaped me. But one day, a book fell into my lap. It was outstanding. It completely absorbed me and kept me in bed even more than my illness, which I had completely forgotten about. They were early works of Mark Twain, and to them I attribute my miraculous recovery. When my father saw how narrowly I had escaped death, he agreed to let me decide my future career. So I headed west to study engineering. 20 years later, I met Sam in person for the first time. As I told him my story, I saw the otherwise jovial man shed a heartful tear. Suddenly, I was snapped out of my daydream. A friendly, "Howdy, Nicola," came from behind me, and an ornate wooden cube landed on the table in front. "With the help of a skilled carpenter, I prepared a gift for you, just for this occasion," Sam continued. "I wonder if you can guess what it is." What was it that Sam brought me? Sam had invested in some of my projects, but this was definitely more personal. Samuel had always been a big prankster, so there was a chance the box was empty. Well, of course, what else could be a gift from a famous writer? But that wasn't all. The mischievous grin on his face said it all. He definitely had something in store to tease my brain cells. Precise workmanship. The internal mechanism must be very complex. The puzzle is more complicated than I expected. Why did he decide to give it to me here? Didn't he mention a meeting with a potential investor? Inside was Samuel's yet unpublished book, I knew it would be another amazing experience. I couldn't have asked for a better gift. But I didn't have time to rejoice for long. Sam smiled, pulled his watch out of his breast pocket, and exclaimed, "It worked out beautifully. It's almost time." At first, I didn't understand what he meant. But when I looked at him, I began to suspect some trickery. There was a knock, followed by a smug chuckle. "Like a Swiss watch," my friend added. He planned it well. He kept me entertained long enough for me not to wriggle my way out of it. And now it was too late. I had to try and make a good first impression. The woman who entered was introduced as Rose Kelly, a representative of an interested investor. She was courteous and spoke politely. Unlike other investors, she knew not just my name, but also the details of my previous projects. We talked about Colorado Springs and my Wardenclyffe plans. I asked what I should expect from the investor she represented. Do they know my work as well as she does? She assured me that she and her fiancé fully supported my world vision, free energy available to everyone, and a global communication network. Fiancé? That made sense, but why hadn't she told me his name? I had no option but to cut to the chase. "Mrs. Kelly, what is the name of your fiancé?" She hesitated, smiled timidly, and looked me straight in the eye. "Alistair Crowley," she said in a weak voice, as if she already knew my reaction. At that moment, just one thought took over my mind. Alistair Crowley was... I had no evidence, but Alistair Crowley often boasted artifacts of dubious provenance. I knew enough about the man. To associate my name with his would cost me the trust of the scientific community. But it wasn't his fiancé's fault. I suppressed my rising indignation and replied calmly, "Mrs. Kelly, I very much appreciate your interest and your offer. It was a pleasure to meet you, and I will certainly let you know. But for now, I need some time to think." Perhaps it sounded colder than I intended, because she just sadly nodded her head and left the lounge with a farewell. Samuel looked at me with a questioning expression. I had to explain it to him. "You've never heard of Crowley? He tells people tales of demons, magic, and other worlds. A charlatan. The nonsense people like him put out makes the work of all scientists and inventors that much harder." Samuel pondered and replied, "My friend, wouldn't it be better to give him a chance? You know your financial situation. Besides, don't you think it might be good if someone like that helped an inventor for once?" I shook my head. I appreciated his good intentions, but my principles were always important to me, and on that day, I chose to follow them.